Hello, 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 and welcome again to What a Week live show with myself, Mr. C Comedian. This is the show where we discuss our things happening within our community, but also we take a look at what's going on around the world. Now, I couldn't do this all by myself. Live with me, my compadre, my brethren, my mentor, my guru. Please, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Tony Crossbody. Come on.
Hey, what's happening?
What's happening, Tony?
You were missed, brother. You were missed last week, man.
Listen, I missed you and I missed everybody last week, man. Trust me, man. It wasn't an easy decision, man. Trust me. But you know what? Sometimes we have to do these things, man. It was a lovely show. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to when it comes out on I think October the 6th. So sorry I didn't know. That's the name of the show.
Yeah.
Watch out for it. First time I think we're gonna have a Black History kind of panel show.
Wow.
In UK. So I can't think of any other one. So you know, it's one of those ones where I had to be there, man. Had to be involved.
Yeah,
man.
fantastic. I told everyone that you were away on official business. So you know, we had to kind of just soldier on without you, brother. But now you're back. Everything's cool, man. But you know what? It's been a lovely day today in the last few days, isn't it?
Listen, oh, the weather. Tony, I cannot remember the last time that I saw weather as good as this in mid to late September. It's like I've seen English people with smiles on their faces. You know how good the weather have to be to see our English. You know, English people are miserable for no reason. Oh, lovely day yesterday. Oh my gosh, it's lovely. Lovely day. yeah, lovely.
But you know how we can tell watching this show how it was a nice day. We're both wearing our colourful shirts. You know,
come on now, come on. Me and you, bruv. We're like what's his name in EastEnders? The one who, Alfie. We're the Black Alfie Moons.
I thought you were gonna say Miami Vice. You know.
No, come on, yeah, man. Crockett and Tubbs. We are the Crockett and Tubbs of MediaNet Live TV. You know what I mean? I'll let you choose who you want to be, bruv. I don't business which one I am. Whether I'm Crockett or Tubbs is a done deal.
As long as I'm in the Ferrari, I don't business.
Bless up, man. Listen, we want to say hello to everybody who's watching. Feel free if you want to drop your comments into the fields, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Whatever medium you're there, this is your show just as much as it is myself and Tony. So we really do encourage you. Please chat away. Feel free. And I don't have to ask the women twice. Love you. So Tony, what's been happening for yourself, man? What did you get up to over the weekend?
You know what? I was just out really. I was just enjoying the last few days of sun. Apparently tomorrow it gets miserable and cold again. So these last few days, man, I've been traveling around, just some different parks and things around London. You know, just taking some things.
So out of all the parks what you went to, which one is come at the top of your list? Which park do you think? I love the greenery.
It's not even so much the park, you know, but I'll tell you where it is. A place off Ferry Lane in Tottenham called Walthamstow Wetlands. Right, it was a former reservoir which they've converted into, you know, basically it's like a giant park with big lakes in there, you know.
Wow.
And I would definitely recommend it as you know, a romantic, you know, sort of little spot to take your lady or your guy to. You know, lovely views, and it's very quiet as well, but very scenic.
There you go. So listen, ladies, if your man say to you, boy, I want to take you to Walthamstow wetland, you know, don't feel that he's trying to bury your backside and leave your body there so not even CSI can find you. CSI Walthamstow can't even find you. It's very, very romantic, and you know, you need to open up your mind. So no, right. I didn't know that, but I'm going to look out for it. And it's off Ferry Lane, yeah?
Ferry Lane in Tottenham Hale.
Very
romantic, very scenic place to visit.
Wonderful. I like for myself, I think my favorite park in London would be Regent's Park. For, you know, just the central part of Regent's Park is just absolutely beautiful and so quiet. That is my safe haven of grass space in central London, man. Fantastic, man. Well, listen, anyway, let us move on with the show. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very special guest. He's starting up a little charity organization, which is lottery based. And here to tell us all about it, please welcome Cosmo Morgan.
Thank you. Good evening, Tony, Mr. C. How
Good
you guys
evening,
doing?
Cosmo.
Good evening,
Welcome.
sir.
Welcome. You're looking very, very summery there with your. Is it lemon or is it what color would you class that shirt as?
Yeah, lemon. I'll give it a lemon.
Lemon.
or Jamaican gold. It's almost between lemon and gold.
Yeah. All right, let's call it Caribbean lime. But you're looking very fine in your Caribbean lime, sir. Indeed.
Thank you.
So Cosmo, tell us all about this organization that you've set up and the reasons behind it. So I know it's a lottery. So please tell us all about it.
It's a two-part business. Initially, I've been doing this for a few years, helping my sister's children out.
Okay.
With work, So I brought it into a business, and I had to get funding from somewhere. So before I was paying out of my wages to help the children. I thought, I can do this for a lot more children on a bigger scale, but the parents must pay. I've changed it up so there's something in it for everybody. So adults will pay into a lottery, which has a big prize attached to it, and it's only £1 to pay the lottery, but the community lottery, and 60% of that pound, or 60 pence of that pound, goes to our youngsters to help them get into training and getting into a job, which is almost guaranteed by our organization to do so for them youngsters from 17 to 25-year-olds,
Fantastic, man. Now look, there's going to be a few questions. I mean, the first question that comes to mind when you say that there's a big prize, people want to know, people want to know the monetary value of that prize, which is?
It is 25,000 a week.
£25,000 a week.
Yeah. Wow. I've got a small society gambling license. It was given to me by Brent Council, so I cannot give out more than £25,000 a week.
Right. So again, that answers the second question, which would be, because I look, let's be honest, as a culture of people, that once somebody's starting to do something like a lottery, the first thing people say, I wonder the money. Him authorized. Who tell him say him can go start up lottery? Who tell him him thinks him is Camelot?
Yeah, there's a big organization behind me. So I don't touch the money at all. It goes into a pot and prizes come out of it. I've got insurance, so we pay into insurance. So the insurance guarantees the money. If you win the jackpot, 6 numbers on your £1, the insurance will pay out to you. Yeah, they take 20% of the money and give me 80%. And 80%, of the 80%, 60% goes to our youngsters. Yeah. So the 20% I get goes back into the business, how to run the business, the advertising and the promotion of it. So I don't make no money from this. I'm just here to help our youths and generate community wealth as well at the same time. So everybody wins.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic.
Cosmo, how do people get to play the lottery?
If you jump on our website, onelovelottery.co.uk, all the links are on there. You just go to the play button, play, and it tells you how to play. So you just set up, put your name and your details in there, and there's prizes throughout the actual game itself. we select random people and we send them prizes out to them just randomly, you know. So jump onto the website and all the links are there. It takes you right through it. It's a very simple website. One Love Lottery, all the W's, onelovelottery.co.uk. And we've only just been we only just came live last week Tuesday.
Well, listen,
and our first draw will be the 24th of October.
Fantastic, man. So
nice in history as well, you know.
So is this an initiative that only people in the London Borough of Brent can play, or is this London wide, UK wide?
England and Wales. England and Wales.
England and Wales. So if what if you're Scottish?
Well, it's got their own parliament. I'm licensed under English and Wales. You know, I have to go. I have to go and get registered in Scotland to get permission from them. At the moment, in England and Wales.
But it doesn't mean that if you're living in London and your name is MacDonald McLeod, you can't play. You can still play.
We're trying to get them out of trouble. We're trying to stop them from hurting each other and trying to get jobs. And this is why I set this up on a larger scale. You know.
Right.
Fantastic. So that's onelovelottery.co.uk. Sorry, Tony, I was going to ask a question.
No,
Sorry.
I was going to say, I mean, what measures are in place to sort of promote this to the wider public?
Well, I just started a radio campaign this week on our internet radio stations. You know, getting in contact with these guys and telling them what I'm doing. They've been very supportive.
Fantastic.
You know, and it's been overwhelming. You know, overwhelming how you know sometimes it's who you know, but they don't know me from Adams, and they just said, yeah, we're on this, and they've just supported me and just put out my adverts from this week. You know, a fraction of the price it would cost. You know, and so I'm on social media. I've got my own Facebook page, One Love Lottery. It's under Cosmo Morgan, and we're setting up a like page as well at the moment. You know,
right.
So everyone who registers on my website will get up to date and all information they need sent to them on a regulars.
Right. Now, the one of the other questions that I know that Black consciousness is telling me to ask yourself: if you win the £25,000, can you remain anonymous as a Black person?
Do you know what? I think everyone will.
Right.
So if you put me holding a big check with a blank image. But yes, of course you can. Of course you can. Of course you can. If you see on our website, we've got Mrs. N has bought 6 tickets. You know,
right?
So
okay.
We will announce the winners without their full name. I saw that from the beginning, that I can't have no pictures with the winners. You know, because you know how we stay. You know what we do. Everyone will be hello, Auntie. On One Love Lottery website, you know. So,
remember that time when me did buy your patty down at Brixton Market? Well, you know, me need a new car.
No, Cosmo, has anyone won £25,000 yet?
No, I just started. The first draw is 24th of October.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So the first draw,
it's a new business. Yeah.
So the first draw is 24th of October. Wow.
Yeah, 2020.
Wow.
Yeah. I also contacted. I will be contacting the local government before I contact central government to get grants in to help these children. You know what I mean? To get them into jobs. So once I get grants in, if London Borough of Brent gives me a grant, I'll concentrate London Brent Borough children. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
We're going for a lot of troubled boroughs at the moment. That's where we're going to start first before we go to central government. As long as we can get them into a job, into work, you know, we're going to hit central government,
right,
and get some funding from them. You know,
a fantastic initiative, Cosmo, man, and I like the fact that it's funded by ourselves, really and truly within the community. You know, the crux of it, but also that it's a direct solution to some of the problems that we have with our young people, you know. So no, take my hat off to you, bro.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Get my
very
hat
much.
off. So,
Once the government puts in, you know, I can reduce the money I'm giving to the children through the £1 I get, and I can give out more prizes. You know, so I've got a fund for our children. Yeah, so I can reduce the 60% I'm giving from the pound to give out more prizes to get more people funding this. You know.
Right.
I must also say, when I start with our children, you know, they can't come to One Love Lottery directly. They have to come to One Love Lottery through their parents or guardian, you know, because I need support from the parents and what I put in place.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you say support from the parents and what you put in place, give us a understanding of what some of those things might be.
I'm going to need a commitment to One Love Lottery is the first thing, because I've got many other children coming in. So you can't come in for a free ride. That's not going to happen. So you have to subscribe to us. I think probably for a year. If it's £1 a game, you have to come in at that level. Yeah. And I need to say to you, I need your son, your daughter to do this work for me. And you have to oversee it so we can move on to another level. Because it's I'm trying to do a quick fix here. The children are not patient enough to do 2 years of anything.
Yes.
I'm cramming everything in the little space to get them into a job quickly. So I want them to go through One Love Lottery in and out and get into their jobs. And I need support from their parents or guardian. I need to know that I can call them and say, did he do this? Did he not do this? If he doesn't do that, I know what to work on when he comes to me or she comes to me. So it's a community. It's a community thing. I can't do it by myself. We can't do it by ourselves, I should say. It's a family thing here.
We've got a question from one of our listeners, watchers, Barbara Powell. Good evening to you, Barbara. Barbara says, can you buy advance tickets, say annually, as with the National Lottery? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. On the website, you can buy up to a year, as many tickets as you like. You know, it's just £1. I would love to get £1 from everyone. Just do your direct debit and just leave it there. If you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. But there'll be prizes coming to you, left, right, and centre. I plan to do, and events I plan to put on. You know. You remember back in the days, the events you go to, you don't have to pay. Like you can go home with your belly full. Yeah. You know, I'm going to bring that all back. You know, I went to many a funeral like that. Many a funeral like that, Cosmo. Yeah. So it's about generating community wealth as well as our children. Yeah. And once I get the lottery talked about, you know, it's word of mouth will make it stronger by people winning. I'm going to concentrate on our children. And that would be my main job. Yeah. So what kind of links have you got into employment for our young people? Well, I'm working with. I don't know if I can reveal too much because you know I've got terms and conditions. Yeah, don't reveal anything then. Just but just say organisations. And with the corona going on, you know, things have changed for me. Right. I've got a good program which has made me successful. I'm using on them, and that's my first way. That can run every year. You know, I didn't do when I was younger. I didn't go to what would you say, college or uni. I didn't do all that. But I am. How do you say? I am successful. Yeah. Middle class for the first generation of black people over here, you know. So that's what I can do for me. It's all based on myself. Yes. And I'm very comfortable, you know. Well, you know, listen. I must say now, you know, you guys jump into my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and see what I'm about. Because I know how some of our folks behave. Yeah, I drive a Bentley. I've been driving a Bentley for 4 years. I really don't want to know people say,
Right, I take the man doing a lottery and him I drive Bentley now. I'm not paying the Bentley anymore, you know. I've had that Bentley there for 4 years. All I'm doing now is giving back to the community, you know.
Yeah.
So
And I can personally vouch for that as well.
Yeah.
And he had personalized plates as well before.
Yeah.
It's true.
I'm giving back. So let's give back and don't watch Cosmo. You can trace back my history on Facebook that I'm comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But this is about, you know, waking up every morning hearing our children. There's been another stabbing. There's been another stabbing, and I can't take that. You know, they're our second generation. I don't know what's going on there, but I probably can't save them. But I'm going to save the next generation underneath them because I've got a young boy myself, 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back in the days, Mr. C, you can vouch for this. You know, we would cross the road if we saw 2-3 white guys on the corner there. Yeah, but now these children are crossing the road because they see 2-3 black guys. What's going on there?
Yeah, well, this is why we've got people like yourselves and people like Tony doing great works with our young people, man. But you know, you mentioned about the new COVID laws, and that is a perfect time for us to just move things on with the show. Obviously, Boris has issued some new barking orders, or should I say, barking mad orders as regards to the lockdown. So backlash over PM's 6 months of curbs. Tories and businesses warn Boris will destroy jobs and personal well-being as he brings in the army to help enforce sweeping new rules to end us gallivanting up and down the streets. Tony Crossbody, listen, you've been saying this for a while, my brother. What is your views? What is your views now? The things that you've been saying to us for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks has finally come to light.
Well, sometimes I don't like to talk too much, you know, because people think I'm mad. But I have this way I can sort of see a trajectory of where things are going. The minute I heard curfew, right? Curfew, soldiers came to my mind. When they talked about that going up in Bolton and up the northeast of England, bringing curfew. Of course, how are you going to stop people from being on the street after 10 o'clock or whatever? Police, there's not enough police for that. It's going to have to be your army reserves or whoever. Yeah. So this doesn't surprise me at all. But what's very clever about it, I think, it's that it's not as draconian, well, seemingly, not as draconian as it first was. Remember when we first had the lockdown, you know, you can only have, you know, only people living in your house. Yes. You couldn't go to the park, and if you sat down in the park, police will come and move you on. So it's not as draconian as that in one way, but in another way, it's a very harsh lockdown. It's now starting to get you used to the idea now that for the first time in living memory, outside of the war, we're actually going to see soldiers on the street, right? Basically enforcing curfews on citizens of this country.
Well, you know what? For us as black people, we're used to this because, you know, when we was growing up as children, we had curfew. Our parents tell us, make sure you come in before street light, don't turn on, you know. And also we had the army, which was our parents' friends. You know, say if you got a certain area and your parents' friends see you, that was as good as the military police. So black people of our age, we're used to this. This is our childhood.
Yeah, any black person out there was your family, you know. Yeah. What you do like this time, no matter who they was, you know, and everybody knew each other's children.
Definitely, like with my stepfather and your father, for example, Cosmo. Yeah. So you know, I know your dad could never see me doing anything bad, and likewise, you know, if my stepfather saw you doing anything bad, then you know, it would consequences would have had to have happened, didn't it? So. Yeah. But I mean, what do you think, though, Cosmo? Do you think that this is obviously the stuff that you're doing with the young people? Do you think this is going to have an effect on young people? The restriction, you know, again, saying to people who are like in that teenage kind of age bracket, you know, 18.
I think mentally it will have an effect. You see, they just want to party. They want to party. So I really don't know how it's going to work out. You know. They. You know, because Corona is, I think they see it as the older folks. I think we're all right. You know, we're all right. Why can't we just gather amongst ourselves? You know, but No, I don't know. I just hope that no one gets hurt from this, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean that is a thing, because I mean we'll talk about it a little bit later on, but the protests are starting to become louder and louder. They're starting to become a bit more visual. You know, Tony, do you feel that there's going to be violence on the streets?
Yes. During August, late August, early September, the British Army, alongside many armies of Europe, were in training, right? As part of a sort of unified European force. Now, normally when armies get together and train, it's usually battlefield scenarios, right, where they're shooting at tanks, you know, rocket launchers and blah, blah, blah. But actually, these armies were training for civil unrest.
Wow. Wow.
So all these European armies had gathered together to train for unrest in their respective countries. And what the plan was that they were going to send soldiers from foreign countries into foreign countries. So they would send British soldiers, for example, into France or Spain, German soldiers into Britain, because what that obviously means is that if they have to do anything about it, they're not going to be held by loyalties to the civilian population.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
But you can actually look this up on YouTube. You can actually see it's the EU Army training. So why are they training for civilian unrest? They can see, as we're going to talk about in a few minutes, with regard to people are getting very uneasy about government policies throughout Europe about COVID and the lockdowns and the effect it's having on the population. And they know what's coming. And so they're preparing for it. And I'm afraid, as much as Cosmo may not want to say it, that is inevitable, because you have, as he said, young people say, well, look, it's only you old folks that are dying off. You lot are sick, all those of you in the home, we're all right. So why do we have to pay for you? Why do we have to be on lockdown? We're not having it, right? And we've seen already in the last few months all these illegal raves, parties, the young people getting together. Do you think that hearing about soldiers coming out on the road is really going to be a deterrent?
Well, no, I mean, listen, sorry, Cosmo, go on.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I think they'll still come out.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, you got to remember, our young people, they play Call of Duty for fun. This is Call of Duty live for them now. So, you know, some of them will relish with this in civil disobedience and, you know, fighting the status quo. So we'll have to watch and see. Please, if you're watching on YouTube or any of our social media platforms, please feel free to join in the conversation. Send us your comments. We'll read them out and get involved in the debate. Next up, wow.
But sorry, just before you do that,
sorry.
I think as well that people have to realize that this COVID thing is a long haul thing as well. Boris has said that this is going to be for 6 months at least, right? And then he didn't even say that, and we'll see. He said, hopefully, right, that there's not going to be any further spikes, meaning that we'd have to bring in more measures. So what we have right now is a 6, rather than before when it used to be 21, it was 30 days, 21 days. Now we're talking about 6 months, which obviously takes us into next year, right? By the time we've all got so used to this system of things, right, it'll be something else.
Yeah.
And so a lot of us, you know, we're making plans. Oh, 2021, I'll go on my holiday. I'll look forward to get back to enjoy my parties and my weekenders and stuff that I want to do. Guess what? Boris has other plans. And the trajectory, in other words, the route that they've been plotting, right? The route they're plotting doesn't show that they're actually going to let up anytime soon. The idea that somehow this is all going to be over and that we're all going to get back to our life, there's no evidence of that right now.
Well, doom and gloom, man. What can I say, man? Let's talk about a little bit of good news as regards, especially for our community. I hear that Barbados is thinking about making a big decision. So Barbados plans to remove the Queen as head of state next year. Caribbean Islands Governor General says the time has come to fully leave our colonial past behind. What do you think of this? If Barbados makes this bold move, Cosmo, are you for them? Are you against them? What's your views on this? Barbados wants to get rid of the Queen.
That's very interesting. I didn't see that. I didn't see that come up. Very interesting. I don't know what to say.
Listen, it caught me by surprise too, Cosmo, because I thought of all the Caribbean islands, Barbados is one which is always, for me, has always had allegiance to the monarchy and all of that kind of pomp as regards to colonial past. So for them to be the very first, it was a bolt out of the blue for me. Tony,
yeah, I think that what the sort of talking heads in the media are worried about is that this is going to have a domino effect on other Caribbean islands who also want to have the Queen removed.
I think you did there, domino effect.
Yeah, the first Caribbean island to do that was Trinidad and Tobago back in '66. But in all honesty, removing the Queen is not really. It's not like the island's going to be free of British influence. I mean, all these places still sort of.
What the things then, Tony? Come on then, bring it then. What do you want to see happen then? If you're saying just removing the Queen, what needs to happen, Tony?
No, I mean, what needs to happen can't happen, and the reason being is because these places are heavily dependent upon the UK. I mean, in Trinidad and Tobago, for example, most of these Caribbean islands, if they want to execute a prisoner, a lot of these Caribbean islands have death penalties, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have to, the person.
Governor General.
Yeah, he goes through the government, and he has to go through the Privy Council, which is based in London. So if you've removed the Queen, right, as head of state, how was that cut the umbilical tide with the UK? In many ways, it doesn't. It's kind of like, and a lot of these islands who have done it, they still remain part of the Commonwealth. You see, because there's obviously certain benefits in being sort of in that territory. So looking at this, I don't really see the significance in terms of, oh well, if we break from the Queen, well we'll have a Bajan president or whatever, right? We won't have the Queen on our money anymore. But in reality, what really changes for the island? I'm really not sure about that.
Well, I think that if once you remove the Queen as head of state, then all of that pomp and bureaucracy that floats underneath her has to be removed as well. Blossom Nation says, "Well done, Barbados. I hope that the other Caribbean islands will follow suit." And Tegan Allison, happy belated, darling. My birth island, Barbados, very bold. Well done, them. You see, that's not actually English there. Well done, them. That's Bajan, that is. Well done, them. Not an easy decision, and one they have been contemplating for some time now. So, again, we have to salute Barbados. It is a bold move. But I think, Tony, you're quite correct as regards to what's the real implications of this, and how do they implement it?
It sounds like they thought about it. Then, if it's been thought about, discussed for some time, they must have think about the consequences and the if they do remove her,
Yeah.
So
I mean,
some thought, Let's hope the it doesn't go down to crap. Let's hope they can maintain what they have there. I think that's most important,
I believe Jamaica now whispering about this now. They're watching Barbados to see what happens, and then there's sort of little chatterings in Jamaica now about doing the very same thing. But obviously, having the Queen of State comes with certain benefits, which is obviously why a lot of these places have kept that link, right? And therefore, the links with the Queen removes those benefits, so they'll have to try and find it elsewhere. So, I mean, it depends which way you're looking at this, really. But yeah, I mean, in terms of from a symbolic view, from a colonial point of view, from a point of view of being an independent state that wants to sort of do business with other people and not rely on Britain because the Queen's head of state, yeah, it's a good thing. But what changes would really make in terms of what we talk about when we talk about real independence, well, it waits to be seen.
Well, one of the questions what comes to my mind is that will Bajans now lose their British status in the UK? Because once you remove the Queen as head of state, then the fact that a lot of people from Caribbean descent have British passports because they are British subjects as such. So if you remove the Queen from the head of state, does that now mean you are no longer a British subject? And can they backdate it?
Yeah, Windrush then, basically, you're saying, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I don't think they can. I think if you've got the citizenship already, you're done, you're good. But I think if you're in the process and you have that tie with Britain,
so did the Windrush people, though, didn't they?
Exactly, Cosmo. I was going to say the same thing, my brother.
The problem with the Windrush people is that they didn't have their papers sorted out in order. A lot of them came on their parents' passports.
No, right? My brother, they did have their papers sorted, and that's the thing. Because if the papers wasn't sorted, they wouldn't be allowed to come on their parents' passports. You see, so what happened was they changed legislation afterwards, and then what they did was the corresponding, how can I say, not the criteria that they had, the proof that they had, which allowed them to become British subjects, they destroyed the evidence because they're the keepers of it. So whether it be, your records at school, your landing cards, all of the things that they had in Croydon, the Home Office department there in Croydon, they destroyed the evidence.
Right, but they didn't have. So these individuals did not have passports or registration documentation of their own.
No, but you didn't need to have them. You didn't need to, because once you came with your parent, that by default allowed you to be a British subject. So what they did was destroy that evidence, and then say to you, prove it.
Yeah.
Prove that you went to school.
Right.
Prove that.
Right. So therefore, the difference now then would be that the individual, the Bajan citizens, who are here and who have British and a passport, they have their own documentation and paperwork, wouldn't be affected in that kind of way.
But you see, that's the thing. What you said now, you said those who have passports. There's a lot of us who were born here, don't have passports.
Right, and that's the problem, right?
It might be.
You allow only the Home Office to have evidence and documentation about your stay here, and you don't have any of your own. And
there'd be a rush for passports then from the Bajan children from the next generation.
Yeah.
There'd probably be a rush of passport application forms.
Right. It's a bit like when certain Caribbean islands went independent. For example, St. Lucia went independent in 1979. Right. You had a lot of St. Lucians in this country. Right. And what the mistake they made, a lot of them, is that they went back home. Right. They went back home without basically sorting out their stay. Right. They went back to St. Lucia. St. Lucia became independent. When they tried to get there, saying, "No, sorry, mate, you lot are not part of us anymore."
Yeah.
After they were living here like 20, 30 years.
Wow.
There's a lesson for Barbados to learn.
Right.
Yes. A lesson there from each country who've gone independent. So there's a lesson for them to learn.
Right. So if Bajans are here and this is going to happen, then make sure your paperwork on your side is square. You've got your stuff.
Yeah.
If the Home Office act dodgy, well, you've got paperwork to prove what you're about.
Yeah.
You see, as opposed to in other examples where only the Home Office had those records and they could destroy them. And they say, "Sorry, mate, we've never heard of you."
Well, so up to the Bajans, get it sorted now.
I think not just the Bajans. I think a lesson to all people of Caribbean descent that everybody needs to get their papers in orders, because it seems to me like there's a stirring happening in the Caribbean, which it could be the starting again of that nutshell, the Caribbean Union. And I think if that happens, then because there's talks in Africa. Obviously, Gaddafi, I think, was one of the first ones who was talking about, probably not the very first, but one of the first, was talking about a united Africa, United Nations of Africa. And again, there was, I think, the Grenadian Prime Minister back in the day, the one who the Americans topped off, Bishop, was again of that kind of same mindset and thinking. So I think this may be again another the stirring of that. And if that is the case, then trust me, Britain will bite back with all of her crooked teeth and her crooked ways. So yeah, we shall see what happens. Meantime, Tony, in Trafalgar Square, a very, very unusual thing happened. Tell us all about it, please. I know you got all the full details of this.
I think we've got the footage there. We can actually show the viewers what took place last weekend.
Thank you. So there we go. That's the Resist and Act Freedom Rally, which took place in Trafalgar Square. Wow.
So this ties back into what we were discussing earlier, unfortunately, more doom and gloom. You know, there is a rising number of people in this country who are not convinced that the COVID is as deadly as the government are saying. And basically, they want to resist some of the draconian laws that have been put in place. They want to resist vaccinations. But the problem you have here, right, and this is where this is all going. People are concerned that America is going into civil war, but the likelihood is that Britain is too. And the reason for that is you got two competing ideologies. The government are saying, well, look, we're coming with the science. This is what's what. We've got to lock things down. Can you see every country in the world is locking down? So this thing is real. And then you've got this growing group of people saying, listen, man, a lot of this stuff is bogus and and you know, we have to resist. It's already starting already. We're coming to a point already where people are already being encouraged to shop on their neighbors if you have more than 6 visitors coming to your house.
Yeah. I've got cameras set up all around my neighbor's yard and everything.
And people are doing that, man.
Listen, if I see more than 6.5 of them, if my neighbor's got 6 family members and a midget, listen.
Right. Right. So you have a situation where the ideology of British citizens is becoming split. Not split down the middle right now. I mean, these anti-vaxxers and anti-COVID people are probably a small minority right now. But as things start to get more and more difficult, you're going to see growing numbers of people, more old people dying, and people are going to start rising up. And we just said, didn't we, Cosmo, regarding younger people? Young people say, listen, I'm not going to my bed at 10 o'clock. I'm going to go, we're going to have our illegal rent. So what you're going to see a split in opinion in the country. And that is the sort of very early start of it.
Cosmo, what side of the fence do you sit? Do you stand with the government, or are you sympathetic with the protesters? What's your thoughts and views?
Protesters, man.
Why are you with the protesters? You don't look like an unlawful and unruly man to me. Why would you side with such vagabonds?
Cosmo, before you answer any questions, remember you've got businesses watching you who are going
yeah, not answer that question.
Let's move on to another question. We can do that.
Like a true politician, you're taking the fifth. Don't worry. I'll tell you what, you pose that question to me, because me not fear no man, cat, woman, or dog.
Cosmo, just say 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the fence with this at the moment, you know.
If you're listening in and you've got any views and thoughts, drop us a line in the comments. I want to know, what side of the fence do you sit on? Are you with Boris and the troops and the curfew, or are you with the those people who are soon to get truncheoned in Trafalgar Square?
Mr. C, what's your viewpoint, bro?
Oh, what's my view? My viewpoint is that, you know, they can bring as much science and as much laws as they want. You know, the fact that, for me, is no way I am staying in my house at 10 p.m. on any given day. You do not have that right or authority over me. And for me to even think that I'm gonna obey that kind of law shows me that I've given up all of my sovereignty and my rights as a free man to roam this land as I choose, as long as I'm not harming anybody, as long as I haven't caused any harm to anybody or committed a heinous crime. But to say to me that I've got to be in at 10 o'clock, well, why are you out? Why is it safe for you to be out?
Yeah.
See, I mean, the problem, and this is where the problem is going to begin, because of course the government is determined to enforce laws, and the public are determined, that their sovereignty is not going to be trampled on. So
yeah,
this is going to be decided, by bullets.
Well, it looks like the purge is coming soon, man. Because what will happen is that when there's unrest, people lash back out. And you see a shop that's been closed for the last 3 months. You haven't got that personal connection with that shopkeeper anymore, so you lash out at that building. If it's young people involved, that building's most likely going to have trainers or some kind of monetary value, consumer kind of value in there. Eye shop or phone shop or whatever. And it's going to be that thing where people are going to want to get what they can't afford or what they haven't been allowed to have access to for the last couple of months. So it's going to come on top. It will come on top. And then you've got just normal people like myself and yourselves. I'm not saying that you guys are of that kind of behavior, but you'll get normal people who are saying, this is you're trespassing on my liberty for freedom, and I will not. My forefathers died. My great grandfather died without the understanding of freedom, and while I have freedom, I shall not let anybody trespass on it so lightly at all. No way. No
It's
chance.
interesting, I watched the film the other day, Demolition Man, with Wesley Snipes and Celeste.
Okay. Yes, I remember the film.
And that's almost like what's going on now. So the people who didn't want to obey lived underground.
Wow.
Yeah.
You watched that film. The people they swore they got to find there and then. And you watch some of these films, man. It's like it's been written. But the people, they wanted to eat meat, they wanted to smoke, so they lived underground. They popped up to try and steal stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Wow.
It's like iRobot with Will Smith. They wanted to put these things in charge, didn't they? Of the people.
Yes.
And tell us what to do. And like you said, everyone just went wild. It was fighting, killing on the street. Yeah.
It makes you wonder, how did they know this future was coming?
Yeah.
Well,
or is watching too much films.
As I say, you always if you put the truth in plain sight. Listen, Cosmo, man. What can I say, man? We wish you all the best with One Love Lottery. I know that you're a very, very busy man, and I know that you've got another interview to do afterwards as well. So listen, we thank you so much for your contribution today. What a week show. We'll invite you back to find out what's happening, and hopefully,
please do. I've got some celebrities, Anthony Joshua, General Levy, Omar. They're supporting the cause,
Fantastic, man.
Prince Nazim's just jumped on board a few days ago. So we're all helping for this. It's not just a boys thing, it's a girls thing as well. Any girl want to jump on this, just come,
There you go.
Absent fathers, absent mothers to support this, Let's support our children.
You've definitely got the support of all of us here at Media Live TV and What a Week Live Show, and of course myself and Tony Crossbody as well. So listen, Cosmo, thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Enjoy the show.
Okay, bro. Take care.
Cosmo Morgan, ladies and gentlemen, from the onelovelottery.co.uk, where your pound can help some of our young people, but most importantly, you get a chance to win £25,000.
Woo!
What you gonna do with your money, Tony? £25,000. What would you win? What would you do?
You know what? It's gonna sit in the bank. There's nowhere to go.
Listen, man, there's nowhere to go. But however,
I'm gonna buy an army uniform and roam the streets after 10 o'clock.
Listen, you know what? That is such a good idea. Just want to say, Antigua Allison says she signed up to the One Love Lottery. Fingers crossed, and good luck for a good cause. Good luck for yourself as well, Allison.
Yeah, lovely.
that is such a good idea. Listen, people, this is what we need to do. Follow Tony's lead. Go now to one of them little campus shop and try and get yourself some little camouflage item, some army uniform, yeah,
man.
some replica army uniform, so that what come 10 o'clock you just put on your little army uniform and you walk out the street there.
Yeah.
Don't carry no gun, because we can't guarantee what would happen to you if you're wearing the wrong uniform in the wrong area. Yeah, just the uniform. Nobody listen, yeah. Because it's a very good idea. But listen, we're talking about money and what money can buy you right here and now. Tony, when you sent me this next clip, as regards to what somebody could do with their money after they've been here, have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a little bit of a technical. Tony, explain because this guy he's passed away. He's got a little bit of money left, and he says to himself, you know, this is what I want when we gone. Tony, explain, please.
Ella quiere más, yo le doy más. Muñequita linda,
My father. Tony, when you sent that clip to me, I can't even remember what I was doing, but I just had to stop, and my eyes was just going, I want it.
You know what? And funny enough, that's Ecuador.
Ecuador.
Yeah, and actually in Latin America, that is not uncommon, right?
Well, listen, I mean, I'm telling all my family and friends right now, if me dead, send me back to Ecuador. I beg you do, yeah. Because if a woman like that twerk on my coffee, trust me, she gonna raise more than the dead.
and you know that wasn't the wife, that was a side chick, right? Because no wife is gonna do that. That side chick is only the one that are making the scene at the funeral. You know?
Alison says, "Where's her mask?" It looked like she didn't want no kind of protection at all.
There was a guy back in 2017, I think, in Ecuador as well, and he had two women on each end of the coffin.
Wow! Wow!
That seems to be like a custom, and apparently, I think the guy himself, probably a little bit of a bad boy and thing, but had a whole heap of money, and he got shot. Right?
Wow!
And ironically, he got shot in an area called Seven Stabbings Corner.
How unlucky do you have to be be shot in Seven Stabbings Corner?
Seven Stabbings Corner. And then basically, you know, obviously he was buried. But it seems to be a custom that women show their love for their dead loved ones by dancing on top of their coffin like that.
Dancing on top of their coffin. You know what? Do you think it could catch on over here?
You know what? Yes, it's possible. You know, I mean,
what kind of wedding? What kind of wedding? What kind of funeral do you see?
You probably call it come and go funerals, I would imagine.
I don't think that the elders in our generation would approve to such how can I put it, such insubordinance. You mean if said the woman pick up and what she do she can vote pan the man coffin? The man
I think that probably was arranged as well. I mean, obviously the guy who passed away, it was a custom. That's what they did.
Yeah.
And in their culture, you know, that's seen as pretty normal. I mean, there are some people in Ecuador who sort of say that's, you know, it degrades funerals and stuff like that. You know, the traditional view of funerals, but that seems to be the way they want to kind of go.
Well, listen, when you think about it, I think it's a beautiful thing. It embraces that whole notion that, you know, it's just flesh and bones which are in the coffin, but your spirit is still alive. So yeah, let's take that first dance from this life into the next life and send you there happy with a smile, because there's no way you're not going to be happy whether you go in heaven or hell. In that moment you're going to be happy.
That is the most incredible video I've seen this year.
Yeah. No, that I've seen some, but that one was a wowie moment. Definitely, man, definitely. So listen, what have you got planned for the rest of the week, Tony? And again, we're moving out of September into October, which is again Black History Month.
Yeah. We're going to be allowed to talk about our issues and have our platform. I'm sort of scheduled to do about 3 talks during October, just on Black history.
Can we see any of them? Or are there any of them online? Or
there'll be tickets available and stuff. I'll let you know when we get close to the time, but it's all sort of being arranged. So that's sort of keeping me. I'm sort of doing the prep work for that right now. And then of course, continuing with the mentoring. Who's that? That is so typical.
Thank you so much, Ali. My little sis Alison, all over there in Miami or Florida. Which part of states are you, darling? Doesn't matter. She's so busy.
So I'll be quite busy during the month of October.
No, man, glad to hear it, man, because I know you do. I've always wanted to ask you this: what made you decide that you wanted to be like a Black historian and share so much of your knowledge as regards to our heritage with young people? What was the turning point? What made that light go off in your head?
I've kind of always been, from very young, a historian in my own way. I mean, I made it a point of duty to ask my parents what was life like before I was born.
Right. Okay.
See, because most of us don't know our parents. We only know our parents from the time that they brought us into the world, right? And we judge personality based upon them being a dad or a mum. But what I did is I asked my mother and my father, what was life like for you growing up as a youngster, right? And bringing them all the way up to when I was born. So I was get a sort of picture of their lives, which sort of helped me to understand them and how they came together as a couple. And then I used to talk to sort of my uncle about ancient family things that he knew about the history of slavery in the family and who came from where. And I sort of record those things. And that was sort of like during my sort of teens and 20s. But I didn't really, to be honest, I didn't really sort of go into it full swing until maybe about 5-6 years ago, when I was able to piece some very interesting pieces of history together about myself. So from that point,
do you mind sharing one of them?
Right. So my heritage is St. Lucian. So
we could tell.
Yes. So basically, there were a number of different peoples that were brought to St. Lucia from sort of the west coast of Africa. But I was able to. What I managed to do is through stories that I heard from my grandmother, some of the customs to do with sort of what we would call obia, right? Or
okay.
So and then through going through books on St. Lucian history, I was able to work out, right, what part of West Africa, or what part of Africa specifically, that line was taken from. Do you see what I mean? Based upon their customs and the build, because the people in my family, they're very big, stocky built, big heads, big legs, right? And
that's just the women. That's just the women.
Yeah, just the women, right. Just the women, right. Those are the babies. Other types of St. Lucians are very slim, skinny, very slim.
No, it's true. It's so true.
They're not taken from the same place specifically. But I was able, by sort of doing a bit of detective work, I was able to actually place where those original people came from. They came from Guinea, right?
So interesting.
So anyway, that sort of just led me on to various other things. And then eventually I thought, well, let me take this into schools. And I had a friend of mine who worked in the school, and she said, oh, why don't you come in and sort of teach some of our boys a little bit of history, because they'd like to hear this. Unfortunately, the sort of higher ups in the school didn't really appreciate it too much. But
They never do. They never do.
yeah. But we were able to get some great results, and the youngsters sort of really appreciated having some understanding of where they came from. So
fantastic, Tony, man.
Mm.
Fantastic. So listen, people. I think Tony's given us a fantastic idea, a great idea there. You know, for those of you who, like, unfortunately for me, my parents are no longer here, but you know, I remember some of the stories that my mother and father told me. But again, if your parents are here, or if your grandparents are here, then get your mobile phone and ask them the simple questions what Tony's just said. You know, tell me about your life before me, and find out those stories, capture them, and share them with the rest of the family, man. Because if we wait for him to tell us our story, why, that's a whole heap another history. That's gonna be a mystery. So yeah, so listen, what can I say, man? We've run out of time yet again. Tony, man, an hour just flies by when you're articulating your thoughts and views, man.
When both of us are holding the show, man, holding the fort, it flies very quickly. We might have to extend it in the future, but we'll see.
Definitely. Alice, okay, so you moved to DC. All the best in DC. I'm going to come and see you next year, girl, depending on, obviously, lockdown and everything. And Tegan Allison, thank you very much. Yeah, I had a little interview with Rudy Liquid. If you want to see that interview, then please check it up on Keeping It Real chat show with Rudy Liquid's Facebook page. But that's been all from us this week. It leaves me to say goodbye. Tony, final thoughts, final words.
Goodbye, and turn off the news.
Turn Tony off, but turn us on the same place next week, every Tuesday. What a Week live show. Take care. God bless.
Take care.